Hi, this is Tanya from Love Butter Tarot, back with the cards for the 14th of March 2017. First of all, I feel every time I start these videos that I've got to have an apology of some sort. Now, I know I did say that I was going to do the videos on a night time so that the people in Australia and stuff like that could actually get them earlier. Um, I haven't been too well the last couple of days. Some of you know this, some of you don't, but I actually have a brain tumor. It's fine, it's benign, so it's not cancerous and it's not going to kill me, but it can cause me quite a lot of problems. And it started on Saturday again. I went blind and had all sorts of stuff going on. And yesterday I done a few readings and I was zapped. I was completely, last night I just didn't have the energy to talk, let alone do a video. And I don't want to put the videos out when I'm like that at all. So I've rested. There's Hendrik. I've rested. It's still there. It's still working itself at the moment. But you know, there's obviously some reason why it's playing up at the minute. So that is something I have to sort out. So I will try and do the videos on the night time. I will try and do it tonight. But when I am that like knackered with it, I mean, it literally pulls the plug. I have no energy. My energy just goes. You know, like I say, I basically had to crawl up to bed last night. When it's like that, then, you know, I've got to actually take care of myself and be gentle with myself. So if there's a couple of days when I can't do the videos, then please don't worry. It's just that, you know, I'm needing to conserve my energy in a way, you know. Like I say, this little squatter in my brain, you know, if it doesn't cause problems, it's fine, it can stay there. But, you know, when it starts causing problems, then I need to do something about it. So that is the reason why the videos aren't there, and they're here today. And also the reason, if you see my eye starting to water during this reading, I'm not actually crying. I'm just it plays havoc with me, you know. So like I say, sorry about that. But I am still available for readings. The bizarre thing about this is the tumor is actually on my pineal gland, which is my third eye and the seat of my soul. So if anything, when it works, it actually makes me more psychic because the dreams that I have with it, it's sort of like getting an injection of DMT or something like that. You know, I get a lot of visions and a lot of sort of dreams that usually come true as well when it starts playing up. So like I say, there's always a silver lining in every cloud, I think. So we get back to today's cards. And the card that I've pulled for today is the Hierophant. Now, this is quite strange because I've just said that there's obviously a lesson in why I have this and why this is working itself again. And whenever I see this card, it's always about a spiritual lesson. Now, when the Hierophant shows up in a reading, it's like he unlocks doors here, you know, and he allows your subconscious mind freedom, because the Hierophant is divine knowledge, you know, and he asks you to tap into your true source, you know, and this is where you will be inspired. So he asks you to connect. So this is usually a card I would usually say to somebody, it's time for you to meditate or look at what is going on in your life at the moment and see what spiritual lesson is in this. Because when the Hierophant comes in, I always feel, and this has been proven within readings that I've done over the years, when he comes in, you are sort of going up a spiritual notch. You are like graduating from one level and going up into another one, you know. So he's like I say, he's a spiritual teacher. Now, he did used to be connected with organized religion and, you know, and the church and things like that. And, you know, I feel in this modern day, he's moved away from that, you know, so he's moved away from the old doctrines. And this is what this card used to speak about. It used to be being restricted within your learnings. I don't feel that at all. I think he's a bit of a hippie there, you know. I mean, if we say he's sort of nigh on doing the peace sign, you know, I like him. I really, really like this guy. And what he does is he alerts you to your own power, you know. Now this, as I've said, this usually comes in during a time of hardship, a time of trouble or whatever, because a lot of times this is when we find our spiritual path. You know, most people find their spiritual path through having some sort of trauma, and it catapults them out of the world that they lived in. So this is when the Hierophant will show, and he makes you question, what is your personal philosophy for life? You know, what is it? What is your motto? You know, your own spiritual motto that you've developed by yourself. Now, mine, I think, if I think about mine, is I think laugh every day, love every day, and try to make a difference. You know, that is, to me, being a spiritual being, you know, having this human experience. That is what I feel I'm on this earth for, you know, to make myself laugh, you know, and to love myself, but to also, you know, bring that joy to other people, you know, to love other people, and to try and make a difference in lives, you know. So have a look today at what your personal motto is. You know, what would your sort of, I don't know, what would your teaching be if you were a teacher, which you are, because we're all teachers and students here, you know, but what is it that you bring to this world? What is it that you bring that makes this world a better place as well? Because when we get the Hierophant through here, it's like he is guiding you to your inner growth, you know. So he's saying, yes, read books and all of this, but, you know, go internal, because through mixing contemplation, you actually thinking about things, not trying to put them out of your head, actually thinking about things and looking at things how they are, looking at experiences that you've been through, mixing this with the divine inspiration which you will receive daily. Whether you choose to open to it or not is your issue, but you do receive it daily. So by mixing that and contemplation together, this is when you can, you know, you will grow, and you will grow on a spiritual level from the inside out. Okay? So the Hierophant within old Greek, ancient Greek, was the revealer of secret things. So it's things that you might not have known. I mean, it's amazing when anybody awakens, you know, and you suddenly go through this ascension. It's hard. It is hard as shit, you know. It really, really is. And sometimes it doesn't get easier, but you start to understand it more. And when you actually see the world that you'd inhabited for so long, and you see it through new eyes, through eyes that are awake, and you think, well, how are people still doing that? You know, because it's obvious, but it isn't. It's only obvious when you actually wake up, right? Okay, it's spirit up. I don't know what I don't know what they've just put. It's like they've just sort of stabbed my head there with something. So whatever I was saying there, I don't know what it is, but it's very important, because they've really just brought very, very high pitched tone. They've brought in there to me. It was like feedback, you know, like reverb, you know, when you when bands are playing. Right, okay, please, like, not today. So the Hierophant is actually talking about linking the spiritual with your normal world as well. So it's bringing the spiritual down and actually incorporating it into your daily life and your human life, you know, because we are all spiritual beings having a human experience. You know, we're not humans having a spiritual experience. We are spiritual beings having this human experience that every single one of us signed up for before we actually came here. So, you know, we kind of complain about what we encounter on this earth, because we signed up for that. We knew there was this lesson that we needed to learn, and everybody's is different. But we decided, right, okay, in our soul contract, that is what I need to learn. So I will have to experience X, Y, and Z in order to learn it. So, you know, some people, yeah, that's it's quite hard to believe that, but I do truly believe it. So the Hierophant here, what he does is he bridges like our outer life and our inner life together. So it's about merging the two together and making it work for us, you know, because when we are completely away from spirituality, that doesn't work for us, you know, because we go about the motions, but there's still that something missing. If we go all down the spiritual route and go and live in this commune and just meditate daily, that doesn't work neither, because it's too much, you know, so we need to incorporate them. This is what I say a lot with my readings. A lot of tarot readings or tarot readers, especially in the past, have wanted it to be this mystical, magical thing, you know, and sitting looking into a crystal ball and predicting your future. I don't see tarot like that at all. I want to bring it into the modern age, you know. It's a part of my life. You know, spirituality is a part of my life, but I still go out and I still get drunk and I still enjoy myself. You know, I'm not going to be a martyr to my spirituality. I'm still going to enjoy myself, you know. And also the way I see readings, it's not about predictions. It's not about this is going to happen in your future. It's about giving you the tools so you can create the life that you want. And that's what I feel tarot is. It's not about telling you what is going to happen. That will come up in a reading. If you stay on this path, this will happen. But what a good tarot reading, I believe, and the way that I work with spirit with tarot, the way they chose me to work with them, this isn't how I chose it, this is how they chose me to work with them, is to give you the tools so that you can join the dots and you can create the life that you want. And tarot will be there as your sat-nav. So if you lose your way, you can go back to tarot and it will tell you which course to go on. So this is, like I say, it's very, very big spiritual lessons I'm feeling at the moment that quite a lot of us are encountering. These could be quite emotional as well. They could be bringing up quite a lot of emotions and quite a lot of confusion as well. So this is saying, you know, if you are struggling with it, seek out a teacher, seek out a reading, you know, go to a development group, read a book. There's something, you know, there's some knowledge that is there that is basically like it's in front of your face and it's just waiting for you to take it as well, you know. And look at teachers that are amongst you as well. Look at people who live their life in the way that you would like to live yours and see how they do it. Maybe go and ask them, maybe go and question them, because they will have answers, you know. I have, like I say, I have my friend coming to stay for a bit this week, and he's such an amazing guy, you know. He's a healer, he's knowledgeable, he's amazing, and I can't wait to work with him and, you know, to spend time with him, because I know that, you know, we're going to teach each other here. It's going to be an equal exchange of energy, but we will both learn and grow from the process because we both work in completely different ways, you know. So I'm really excited for that, because I don't know all the answers. All of the dots aren't joined, but I know some more will come. You know, he was here the other day and he was like, there's going to be magic happen, you know. And I was like, yeah, I know, I can feel it, you know. So, like I say, this is about teachers. Look out for teachers that are in your life, teachers that are coming into your life, teachers that have been in your life as well, you know. There may be teachers that you need to reconnect with as well, because you might have gone so far down the road by yourself and then think, hold on a second, I need a recap or I need a refresh, you know. And, you know, so that there may be a reconnection with this as well. Because when the Hierophant comes in, I mean, like I say, he opens doors. He's got the keys there, you know. These keys will open doors. And they're saying to me there that it's sort of like a rite of passage. You know, when you're 21, you get the key to the door, don't you? That's what they're showing me there. So yeah, I feel there's a door right in front of you that needs to be opened, and the keys are basically just hanging. It's for you to take them. Yeah, that's what they showed me there. So the Hierophant is saying that, you know, once you embrace this, once you embrace these teachings, once you actually embrace this spiritual path, then you will get this sense of belonging as well coming, and you will realize your purpose more as well. And like I say, you will realize what your spiritual principles are. You will find that, because this isn't something that you don't know. This is something that you knew and now you've forgotten. So it's just about refreshing your memory here, you know. So like I say, that when the Hierophant comes in, he does play a very important part. So look at what lessons you are learning at the moment, or what lessons you need to learn, what you need to go and sort of do research on, or whatever, you know. Because this is about grounding yourself in your beliefs, and the Hierophant always encourages you to be the best that you can be, but also to seek out others, you know, who are on the same path as well, you know, because when we find right, when we find the others, that is when we find ourselves. Right, okay, I love that, because the others, I always use the others. It's a Timothy Leary quote. I'm not. I haven't got it here, and I can't remember it off the top of my head, because what this tumour does is actually it closes the brain to my memory. So the memory banks are shut at the moment, so I can't even think back to it. So yeah, so this is when you find the others. That is when you will find yourself. So this is about, when you're led to certain people. This is when there's lessons to be made there. Nobody comes into your life by chance. So when we look at teachers, I've spoke about teachers before, and I don't want to go into it too much, but a good teacher will inspire, and they will open your eyes, and they will give you a nudge in the right direction. A bad teacher will sort of blinker us and lead us down the one path and say, this is the way, which is very similar to old traditional religions, But this is why I'm saying this dude, he's come out of the old school, he just knows what's going on. So, this is about considering which path you're going to take, and the teacher will just advise and let you go your own way as well. Because if he forces you down a path that doesn't fit for you, you will then come back and resent the teacher in some way, So within the story of tarot, what happens when the fool meets the Hierophant is he's sort of met the magician, he's met the high priestess, the empress, he's met all of these, so he's now aware that there's this magic, he's now aware of love, he's now aware that he's in control as well with the emperor. But then he suddenly gets struck by fear, because this is a 5. And if we remember, 5s are tests, 5s are challenges, and 5s often bring chaos. So he gets scared. We've got the moon there around his neck. And he says, I've got all of these fears. How can I be free of them? And what the Hierophant says to him is, pretty much, with fears, what you've got to do is either face them head on, and then they no longer hold the power, or give up what is causing you this fear as well, or let the fear come to you, and then you will realize it's not as bad as what you actually initially thought. And if in this process you lose everything that you have built up before that, you have still got the experience, and you have still got the knowledge, so you haven't lost, you have actually gained. And sometimes, like we say within the tower, sometimes our old structures and everything need to fall away so that we can actually enter onto this new path and find this new way of being. Because like I say, we are remembering who we really are. And a lot of times we have lived a life where we aren't who we truly are, So this is sort of like setting forth on your journey, and like I say, it's bringing the spiritual down to earth, it's mixing the two. So when the Hierophant comes in, it's like, no matter how chaotic things can be at the moment, how scared you can be or whatever, he will bring you tranquility, he will bring you peace, he will bring you sort of sanctuary as well. He's like the quiet in the panic, he is, because he knows, he's been there, he knows all of the answers. So anything that is making you panic, or anything that looks crazy and out of control within your life, he will be there to give you practical as well as spiritual advice as well, So he's like a teacher, he's like a best friend, he's like a counselor, do you know what I mean? He's like a guru, This is what the Hierophant is. Like I say, I like that now. The Hierophant is more of a guru, rather than actually this sort of priest in what he was seeing, So when you have questions that you would want to ask spirit or whatever, you can go to the Hierophant, and the Hierophant will answer them for you as well. So this card is, I think, saying, to let you know that you are never alone neither, because even if you feel you can't connect to spirit, you can. They're always there, they're always listening. And if we can't connect to them, it's usually something we're doing, not them, But knowing that there is teachers out there, knowing that there is somebody out there who you can speak to, who would be able to answer your questions in an honest and unbiased way as well, you know, and help you to sort of ease this transition and make the your spiritual world sort of fit into your worldly world as well. So that is the Hierophant. Now, sorry, my eyes are going. This is ridiculous. I'm a mess. What am I? I'm a mess. Stupid brain. Right. Okay. There's a brilliant documentary called "My Beautiful Broken Brain," and it's about a young girl who had a stroke. And this is what they were saying I had. They said I'd had numerous strokes, and I knew I didn't. You know, I'd asked what it was, and I knew that I hadn't. But watching that documentary, it really made my daughter watched it, and she said it made her understand a lot what happens in my brain, you know, which it's probably not best to go there, but it's really bizarre at times because it affects my speech, it affects my memory. I say wrong words. It's sort of a bit like Google Translate. So I go to say something and my brain takes me on another thing, so I can come out with some quite bizarre things when it's working itself. So bear that in mind. So right, okay, sorry, back to this. So this is a card called Completion, and it's quite strange imagery, this, but I really like it, and I'd never thought about it before how much it ties in with the Hierophant, because this is saying that it's like the final, if we have a look, there's like the final piece of the puzzle being put in. And bizarrely enough, it is being put in the third eye position here. So this is speaking of like a moment of clarity, you know, when things are starting to make sense. They might still make no sense at all, but some things are making sense, if you understand what I'm getting there. You know, so things that you've pondered about or worried about, you know, in recent times, they're sort of, it's like you're starting to see through them. They're starting to make sense, or the truth is actually pushing through them as well. And this is bringing a feeling of healing and clarity as well. So this is like the efforts that you have put in, you are sort of now pretty far on your journey, and you know there's a completion coming. Now I said, didn't I, with this, that this is usually when you've passed one phase of spiritual learning. So this is talking about, you know, like now things are becoming clearer. You can actually complete that course and then go on to the next one, which will be a much more positive cycle as well. So it's like the hard times and the testing times that you've been through, you're still standing, you know, so you can have the faith in yourself that you got through that no matter how hard it was. So you pushed through it and you went straight through it. You know, you didn't go over it or under it. You went through it and you have came out the other side. All might not be clear yet, but you know that it's like, you know, the worst is probably over. So this is bringing like a sense of serenity as well. And it's like you are now seeing where the dots all connect and things are starting to come together. And it's like you've kept your head during that. There may have been times that you've worried that you couldn't, but you have, you know, and you've done it. So this card is talking about now being able to see the bigger picture, you know, now seeing how all these small little pieces all fit together and how they were all meant to be as well. So it is an ending of some sort. And what it's saying is that, you know, you can be sad and be in despair because you don't want this situation to come to an end, or you can be grateful and accept the fact that life is full of endings and beginnings. And this is one of the spiritual lessons that we learn, you know. Everything is transient, you know, so we just accept it. So by closing the door on one thing, you know, it's opening this door with these keys, you know, that the Hierophant, this spiritual lessons that you've gone through, has actually made this door appear in front of you, and this is the door to walk through as well. So it's like there's an understanding comes with this card, and, you know, but with this understanding there will be new questions, you know, new questions come up and new pieces to find. So it's not like, yeah, right, that's it, I've done it, I've hit the spiritual peak. We don't do that. We don't do that until we die, you know. But what this is saying is that you know that you will get through all of these on this next chapter as well. A bit like the Fool's Journey, you know, because you have experienced them now and you know that, you know, they're leading you on to something better, and that everything will eventually pan out in the way that it's meant to, you know. Now, you may have been actually talking about this to somebody, because a lot of blues in here, and I'm really feeling around my throat chakra, you know, and this is saying, you know, you could have been having discussions about things like this to people. And it's sort of like, I'm getting a feeling here where it's like, you know, where at one time you didn't speak up for yourself, you know, it's like finding your voice, you know, and what happens is we find our voice when we are feeling stronger spiritually, when we are standing in our own power, when we are being authentic. This is when we are able to speak our truth. It's easier, you know, and if the people around don't like it, that's fine, because there are people around who will embrace that, and people around who will gravitate to us because we are speaking our truth. You know, so this is saying that you are now, it's like you've chosen your path at last, you know which way you're going. You've learned the lessons, you know, that you've had. And it's saying, you know, your vibration has gone up. So the vibration around this is saying that, you know, like any changes you are making will be for the good, you know, they will make you happy as well, you know. A lot of insight coming through with this. Like I say, this is your third eye. So I don't know if many of you have been having mad dreams recently, you know. There's a lot of dreaming going on, a lot of answers coming as well, you know. So this is saying, you know, use this insight that you have in order to make any important decisions that you have at the moment, you know, and never forget what it took to get you here, because you have been through a long and testing time, you know. It's been a bumpy road, but you are now ready to go up this level, you know. And when this card comes in, and when we have this, when we embrace our spirituality, and when everything becomes clearer like this, we feel a sense of unity, you know. And this could even be when we're by ourselves, but it's like when we feel connected. As I said, the Hierophant says that you are never alone. And we feel this unity with the world. We realize we are all connected. We realize that whatever we've gone through is not personal to us, you know, but it is affecting everybody on the whole. And what has happened within our life will affect other people's lives and stuff like that. And it is all leading us to where we want to be, no matter whether it's happy, no matter whether it's sad, no matter whether it's painful. You know, there is these dots need to be joined, and we all need to go on these little sort of offshoots, you know, of our path in order to learn, you know. So you will feel a wholeness, you will feel protected, you will feel connected, you know. So you're protected and connected. That's another t-shirt, and I love these, you know. So this is where the unity will come in. And like I say, you know, find the others. And when you find the others, you know, that you will find yourself then. So this is about people gravitating to you as well. So I really love those cards. And the Colette Baron Reid one that we have for today is called Why. And if we have a look, there's somebody there, and she's ready to open the book, and the book has these angel wings as well. So it could be like the Akashic Records, you know, where everything is actually written down. I mean, it's got a lovely warm feeling that, you know. I mean, I know it's asking why. I get wrong because I say why all the time. One of my dear friends, Jill, just goes absolutely berserk because she'll tell me something and I'll go, why? And she just goes absolutely berserk with me all the time. And when I was young, it was why for cause. I would question all of the time, you know. But when we're talking about teachers, a good teacher will actually allow you to question and encourage it as well, you know. So always ask questions. If you don't understand something, always ask questions. So like I say, why is sort of a, you know, but it's a wanting to understand, isn't it? You know, that's what I feel this is. And what this is saying is like that when you know your why, when you understand why, okay, because a lot of times when we're going through this terrible time and, you know, this traumatic, or something happens and it doesn't turn out the way we wanted it to, and it hurts us or whatever, we go, why? Why is this happening? And it's like, why not? You know, you have learned from that. That's what you needed to learn. And once you realize your why, you know, once you realize that, and once you realize why you are making certain choices as well, you know, why are you doing something at the moment? You know, look at the reason behind it. If you are unhappy in your life, look at why are you staying there? You know, what is holding you there? If you are happy in your life and you've gone out on this branching out, you know, to go and find yourself or whatever, ask yourself why you done that. You know, so when we go deep into the root of why we are doing something, rather than just doing it because, oh, this is what we've always done. This is when we can gain answers within ourselves. This is I was talking to my cousin the other day, and she has issues with food, and we were talking about it, and I said to her, this is, if you trace it back, and if you trace it back through our family, food was used as a comfort. If you fell down and you hurt your leg, our moms were sisters. They would come running out, and they hated to see us cry. So they would give you a bar of chocolate or give you a bag of crisps to stop you crying. So you associate then food with a comfort. When you're not feeling very good, you'll go and you'll have some food, So she was just like, oh God, I'm just, and I said, what are you going through at the minute? You're going through something where you actually feel a little bit disjointed. And that is why you have gone and ate what you have. And she was like, all right, yeah. So once you understand why you're doing something, then you can get to the root cause of it, and you can nip it in the bud if it's not good, or you can encourage it to bloom if it is. Okay, so this is about asking all the time, questioning why am I doing this? Is it because I feel better when I'm doing this? Is it because I feel worse when I'm doing this, and that's why I need to get away from it? So when we are clear about our intentions and what we're putting out there, this is when we can start to see miracles, and miracles will appear for us. When we get clear on what we want and why we want it, and we accept our spirituality here, and all of the dots sort of like join, and and we start to see it with our third eye, not just with our two eyes. So this is basically, it is a beautiful, beautiful card. And it's saying, that there's a lot of whys hanging in the air. And it's, these whys, once we start to question, this is when we are planting the seed for new growth within our life. When we are accepting, we are not questioning. When we are questioning, this is when we know, hold on a second, is that right? If you think about, when we were at school and what we were told, and we were taught not to question, we were told to take that as gospel, so to speak. But then, since we've got older, we realise that, hold on, that's not right. That's different in a way, or you have different views, or you have done your own research, so you realise that, hold on, that is not the way things are. So you have learned to question, and once you do this, this is when your life will open up, rather than just being told these are the rules. And like I say, this is when I look at the Hierophant, and in the old school, the Hierophant was this guy who you had to stick to the rules. And I really feel at the moment, this Hierophant, like I say, he's a bit of a hippie dude I'm getting coming through here, and he's saying, forget the rules, but just question and make sure that you are sure on why you are doing something. There's a lesson in it for everybody. So I hope that makes sense to you. I like them cards. They're a little bit, it's strange, isn't it? The different feelings with the different cards as well, but I think we've had the heavier tarot apocalypses. I think I might go back to them next week, because I love them. I'm missing them. But these ones, it's just, it's nice and mellow, and this is it. It's showing you the way. So I feel that there's a Hierophant around at the moment. Like I say, there's a spiritual lesson that you could be encountering at the moment. So if anybody would like reading with me, please get in touch. Spaces are filling up very, very quick. So I would advise that, the sooner you want to read, and the sooner you book, because, it is, it's sort of, I am trying to get everybody seen as soon as possible. But, that there is a little bit of a wait. I do daily emergency readings, so I do keep a couple of slots every day for emergency. So if you desperately want a reading on that day, then I can fit you in for it. But like I say, please get in touch if you do, either via my Facebook page, via my website. The links are all below there as well. Thank you to everybody who has been sending me donations as well. It's blown my mind, and all of the messages that I get off people saying how these readings are helping them as well. It's that it really means a lot to me. Like I say, I was chosen to do this. I didn't plan on doing it. But if the message is getting out there, then like I say, it's nice to know that you are making a difference, you know. So again, thank you for all the donations. There is a donation button below as well if anybody would like to donate for the readings. Like I say, it's not compulsory, but it is massively sort of gratefully accepted as well if anybody does that. And just have a fabulous day today. I think today is a day of contemplation, contemplation, thinking. You know, it's thinking, it's putting things in order. You know, it's joining the dots in some way. Don't expect to get the full answers straight away. You know, because I don't think that they'll come. But it's just about, you know, sorting things out. But there's a real nice serenity coming with it as well. You know, so don't worry. So it's quite a mellow day. You know, I'm really pleased with that because that's exactly what I need. Okay, so have an absolutely fabulous day, and I'll be back either tonight to do tomorrow's, or I'll be back tomorrow depending on how I'm feeling. Okay, Satnam.